Pringle looking towards Agard. Ravel, ambitious, but brilliant! I don't believe it! I swear I do not believe it! And they are back on terms!
Welcome. It's the Rotherham United. No, not with the New York Talk. Get that right, shall we? New York Talk. We are back with an interim episode. There's not much happening yet at the club. Bits and bobs, but I thought we'd come in. Pre-season's just about starting. So we'll talk about some Rotherham United stuff. We'll have a quick mention of the Euros, which is getting interesting. And yeah, spend some time talking about Rotherham United for the first time in a while. How's that sound, Mick, Ben?
Yeah.
Sounds all right to me. I mean, we've I don't know whether you're aware that we won an award for the 3 most boring people in Rotherham.
Three?
Yeah.
2, I think.
No, Josh on YouTube. He's convinced us to hunt 3 more boring people in Rotherham than us. So get in award number 1 at season. Come on.
Mick's not very good at letting things go, as you may or may not notice.
Gavin Ward.
So we are back, as we say. I do want to start by saying I hope Ben gets better soon. He has recently broken his wrist. So if anybody's watching on YouTube and see a big pink thing flying around, that's his past.
Okay.
As regular listeners will know from the past 12 months, listening to the show and watching the show, I think we all, if you all want together, say, Ben, you should have trained it better, is what,
Impossible. Whatever.
I had a text from Kieran Sadler, actually, giving me some advice on how to train potentially broken bones.
Can I just say that before we move on, ankles you can train to be in positions that break. Wrists you can't physically bend that way, because if it bends that way, it breaks. How do you train from that position? Listen,
some people can look at it. Some people bend that wrist the entire way back to
yeah, all I'm going to say is I play more physical sport than Kieran Sadler did, but whatever.
I mean, he wears much less protection than you do.
Yeah, but he didn't get hit at, what was it? I don't even know how hard it was, but whatever. It doesn't matter. That's not the point. It's not the point.
I think the important part to mention with this is that Ben's been training for 2 years now, and this was the first game for 2 years. And this injury was sustained at the kickoff return at the first play of the first game for 2 years.
Ben.
You know, what can you say?
It's quite funny. You'll be fine.
It's funny because I still played. That's what's funny. But...
Yeah, carried on playing then, didn't you, mate?
Yeah. 6 weeks, you'll be back to normal, mate. Anyway.
5.
Because you were training it better. Anyway.
I mean, I will, but go on. That's one thing I forgot to mention about the Sadler thing as well. I'm going to recover faster than him. I know it's an ankle and whatever, but in proportion, I'd recover faster. But go on.
What, because you have a team full of professionals helping you recover?
No, I just know what I'm doing.
So you're telling me that you know better than professional physiotherapists at the club?
Some of them, yeah.
Okay.
I'm not trying to be cocky. All right, we'll see.
We'll see when you're really cocky.
We'll see when this is back to normal.
Well, wrists recover better than ankles, don't they?
I don't. I'll go and bend my ankle and recover quicker than him. Then I don't.
I wouldn't do that if I were you.
No, I won't do that. But yeah, it's not going to take me 5 months or whatever. I know this is different, but in proportion, whatever.
Season's not even started and Ben's back on form. So
yeah, come on.
Do you want to start with Euros or do you want to start with the Rotherham United stuff?
Let's start with the Rotherham United stuff. I think there's 1 or 2 bits and pieces going off, isn't there?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I personally, I'd like to start with Ipswich, if you don't mind.
Trying not to be too,
I'm struggling a little bit with it, because they're a club obviously that have been at a higher level in the past. They've got a captive audience in that, they've got no other clubs around them, so they're going to have a decent going to get decent crowds, and now they've got an owner with some money. But they've been in trouble financially. They've been in trouble. I think I read earlier on this week, even to now, they're shipping something like 64 grand a week in losses. But you would think with a new owner coming in, with some new money coming in, the lessons would be learned, and the first thing they wouldn't be doing is going out and splashing cash everywhere. But clearly not. You'd think they might be clearing some debt and getting themselves onto a firmer footing. But they're obviously after splashing some cash, which is great for the rest of us, because it'll just put them back in the same place that they were in before, won't it? Ultimately, you would imagine, unless their gamble to get promoted pays off. But having said all that, they then phone Paul Warne up and offer him 3 bob and 2 blackies eggs for a striker that's worth £1.5 million, £2 million, or a midfielder. Sorry, just bizarre. It's bizarre, and then come back with another derisory offer. I mean, it's not even. I do hope that whoever answered the phone call just laughed at him and put it back down again, because it's just embarrassing. It is embarrassing from their point of view.
It's all done by fax now, isn't it? They wouldn't ring them. They'd fax it.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, they fax it through, wouldn't they? Yeah.
I think they got a special fax just for Ipswich, and when the fax comes through, it just feeds straight into Shredder.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. But on the flip side of that, it's nice to see Rotherham United not going, oh yeah, 3 bob and a blackies egg, we'll have that. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that's a positive that's coming out of it. We're standing on now.
Yes. Ipswich have looked well set in terms of their recruitment. If they're trying to sign Matt Crooks, that says to me that they've got their head screwed on. Let's forget about the cash that they're trying to spend. Let's forget about that for a second. If you're in League One and you're trying to get out of League One, Matt Crooks is the type of player that you should be going for if you've got the money to back up with. That's a concern for me in the season, because if that's the type of recruitment they're going to go after, they may find themselves in a decent position. You look at Sunderland in the past, who've just thrown money at the wall and hoping that something stuck. And we're 3 years in and nothing's still stuck. Whereas this seems, Ipswich in the past 2 seasons are similar to that, and they've thrown money at stuff and it's not quite worked. It's a concern to me that their recruitment seems to be a bit more joined up from a Rotherham United point of view. Yeah. But we'll wait and see. It's not enough money. And what's surprising is, from the outside, I always thought that everybody in football basically talked to each other. Mm. So Ipswich, for me, executives, chairmen, blah, 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 would know the money we probably turned down. And we want £3 million in January, reportedly, for Matt Crooks.
How much? Sorry.
Around £3 million was the reported fee we were asking for in January. Well, what makes him think now that it is suddenly, in 6 months' time, gone down to being worth 400 grand? Do you know what I mean? In what unless he broke his leg, in no other circumstance could his value have dropped by that much. It would be impossible for us to devalue him so much so quickly. Mm. And I don't have a problem. I think we are in agreement. Most Rotherham fans are not in agreement, but accepting that Crooks will probably go in this summer window, ideally to a championship club. He had a very, very good season. He's probably earned his chance at the championship again. If he wants to better himself, he wants to earn a few more quid for him and his family, fantastic, off you go. Paul Warne and Tunisho and everybody else at the club has always said, if right offer comes in, anybody can leave. But that price, Ben, the 600 grand for Matt Crooks is what is reported, up to 600. It might be less than that. Up to 600 grand is a bit of a joke offer.
That's probably what it is. I can't even. I'm speechless. 400 grand, and then what? The second one, 600 grand.
A maximum of 600. It might be 500.
You say they're recruiting well, are they?
Well, yeah. I suppose it's come back.
600 grand, that's not recruiting well. I don't get it. He's worth 2 million minimum. And second of all, why would we sell him to a League One club? To a rival? Yeah. I mean, if you're a League One rival, sure you're going to pay more.
To me, yeah.
It just doesn't make sense. And to say about your point about the recruiting looking good and they could be up there, yeah, the recruiting might be good, but as long as they've got losses coming through, that's irrelevant. You can have a stronger head and as good a head as you want, but if your neck's blocked, then you're not going to function properly, are you? Like, the recruiting's well, but the club is, from what I see, obviously I'm not involved in the club, from what I see, like you said, what is it, 64 grand loss a week?
Yeah. Reportedly, whether that's...
Reportedly. Like, who's gonna want to go there, first of all? And second of all, you can't recruit well when you're losing 64 grand. Unless Sheikh Mansour is your chairman, you can't recruit well.
But these figures are basically irrelevant. Clubs don't really look at the losses. A club like Rotherham and teams who try and run a steady ship, Wickham are another good example, try to run a steady ship, losses do matter. But for teams like Sheffield Wednesday, Derby, Ipswich, Sunderland, Wigan now, again, it doesn't really matter what their losses are. They could be losing 100 grand a week because they've got an American billionaire who don't really care about that. He wants to get them promoted because the idea is that obviously if they get promoted end of the season, that'll cover losses on most of them. Anyway, I don't think it matters. They're talking that Crooks, if he goes to Ipswich, the rumour is he's going to double his wages.
Well, this is the problem, and this is what Americans are like, because obviously I watch NFL. This is what they do. They bank everything on this one season to go and win the championship. And then when it doesn't happen, they go into a rebuilding stage for, 15 years? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're trying to bring that into, well, not trying to, but they are bringing it into some English clubs, but it's not going to work. Hopefully. Yeah. But you see what EFL's like. Jesus.
Yeah, well, you got Wigan today, who have reported to sign Charlie Wyke because Sunderland can't afford him, or Wigan can offer more money than Sunderland can, which is strange. It's not strange because they've got a Bahrainian, again, billionaire owning them. But this is the company we're keeping, and I went on an Ipswich YouTube show last week and I'm talking to them about their recruitment process and things like that. We've been in this division with Wolves, and Wolves at the time, I don't think they had their Chinese owners yet. I don't think they were in the situation, but they were well off compared to us, weren't they? Their recruitment was absolutely bang on, and they didn't really spend that much. I know wages would have been more, but they never went out and spent 1.5 million, £2 million in League One. I'm about to give Kenny Jackett some credit, which I don't really like doing, but it brought in some really good players. You look at Dicko. The money we were going to pay for Dicko were a few $100 grand, weren't it? It weren't actually much money we were going to pay for it. That's the model that all these clubs should be looking at. Like, what did Wolves do when they did it? What did Sheffield United do when they got up? I don't recall Sheffield United spending much money when they got out from League One. I don't know. I know football's changed since then, Mick, but I don't know. Paul Cook's a great manager at League One. I think he's good, but he just feels a bit panicky.
It's just the problem with football is and football ownership. It's sort of, I don't know, 80% of the clubs are just about egos, aren't they? You know, they're just about millionaires' playgrounds, I guess, if that's the right word, playthings. So we'll have to see. You know, you could spend 10 million quid on a squad for League One, and still have, you know, 25 in your squad of 25 individuals and not a squad, not a team, not have that ability to play together. And you can, it's been proved year after year, season after season, that don't matter how valuable your squad is, if they ain't playing together, if they're not playing as a team and they're not managed well, you can forget it. So we'll have to wait and see, won't we? It'll make it interesting, won't it? It'll make it interesting.
Yeah, I agree. A few people spending money this season in League One. It's going to be a good league. I'm looking forward to it.
Interesting.
No transfer incomings at the moment. I assume there will be some people training with the team. Everybody's contracts run out 1st July, so people are now free to train with everybody else. So I would assume that's going to be the case. I haven't seen any names linked. Strange transfer window, Ben. It's been slow, as we all know. I haven't seen anybody other than the guy from St Johnston. I've not seen a single guy linked with us, which is very strange.
I think Robertson's We already talked about that, haven't we? We still have Sundays left. Coming in, that Scottish defender.
Rooney.
Is he called Rooney?
Sean Rooney, I think it is. Something Rooney, anyway.
I mean, the squad last year was a good squad. I think, obviously, I know you can say that for everybody, but COVID didn't happen. I think if COVID doesn't happen, and that's including everybody else with fans and stuff like that, we stay up.
Probably.
I'm confident we stay up. Because Derby wouldn't have filled the stands. Wednesday would have had 3 people going, because you know what Wednesday fans are like, or some Wednesday fans are like. So I think when we'd have kept pushing 10,000, 11,000, which is not loads, but it's, you know what I mean? I'd rather have a full stadium than, you know what I mean, 10,000 and 100,000 seat stadium. So, I mean, why do you need to bring anyone in? We had a good squad. I mean, I think he's waiting for the big names to go.
Crooks and Smith.
I think Crooks and Smith. I'm not too sure about Smith going. I think he might stay, to be honest with you, because it's been really quiet. I know he had that Middlesbrough, whatever it was.
Well, they've signed somebody else, haven't they?
Have they signed someone else?
Signed someone from Wickham, haven't they?
For less, so we wanted.
It's not that cash.
No, I can't remember his name now.
Anyway,
he begins with a U.
Anyway, I think if Crooks goes, we'll sign somebody, and I'm sure he's got a replacement already lined up. But if at the moment, why do we need to sign anybody?
Yeah. Well, at the moment we've got 19. We've got a squad of 19 senior pros. Added to that, 5 or 6 younger pros that are in there. Some of them are going to go out on loan, aren't they?
I thought you were going to talk about the names.
Yeah, every one of them's got a name that begins with J, haven't they?
Yeah.
that don't include Josh Coyote. So, but yeah, I mean, we'll have to wait and see. It is quiet. It is quiet. I expect some to come in. I expect some to go, as you've said, and it will be good. I think for Smith and Crooks, both of them, it will be good for them, and it will be good for the club if they moved on, because it will generate us some income, and they should both really be playing in the Championship, if I'm honest. But we'll have to wait and see, won't we? We'll have to wait and see. If they don't go, all the better for us. The only issues like to be potentially with Crooks is he obviously had his head turned last season, and it took him a while to start performing again, and he obviously will have had his head turned again this close season. So we'll have to wait and see. But it's going to be a tough league. I don't care really who you bring in, who you sell. It's not going to be easy. This, not at all.
No, well, there's areas we need to strengthen. We need another right back to back up for Wes Harding. We need another centre back, at least one centre back. We'll come on to injuries already in a minute. We need another left back to cover for Mattock, because obviously we don't want Ben Wiles playing there anymore. We need probably a central midfielder, because we've obviously lost a wing, and we've obviously lost Sean McDonald as well. So I think at least one body in the centre midfield. Do we need some wingers? That depends on the formation we're going to play. If we're going to play 3-5-2, we obviously don't need any wingers. But then if we don't have a winger, do we need to bring in another central midfielder to help with the bodies in there? If Smith doesn't go, we still probably need at least one striker. So if Smith goes, we'll then need 2 strikers, because we need 4, and we've only got 3. Smith, Freddie, and Coyote.
Yeah.
I'm not missing anyone.
No.
No. So. I think he said he wants to bring in a 3rd keeper, which is fine. A couple £100 a week on a young keeper. He's not going to play. He might get on the bench a few times. So, yeah, it's not far off a really good squad already. Most of this squad got promoted, for God's sake, didn't it? Yeah. So that's where we are. It's sort of helping us. COVID's helping us because we're not getting all our players cherry picked because people haven't got the money at the minute. So that's a little bit of a bonus, hopefully. Onto the squad depth already. We started with 4 central defenders. We've now got 2 fit ones. Richard Wood's obviously still going, because I don't think anything can stop that guy. Michael Hickory is still fit as things stand. Curtis Tilt, for me, Mick, was coming back in. I was quite looking forward to Tilt this year. He had a good year at Wigan last year. Helped them stay up. I'm looking forward to him coming back in. I think he'd fit really well in the back 3. And now he's torn his hamstring quite badly, and he won't be back till October.
Yeah. just his Rotherham United career seems destined not to start, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, I suspect he might be one that goes, but not while he's injured, I suppose. So we'll have to wait and see on that. But yeah, it's a blow, and it's a blow for us with Angus MacDonald as well, who's also injured now, because he finished the season off really, really well, and that partnership with Woody and Nicky for him was really, really, really strong for me. So yeah, he's already got some issues to deal with. Anyhow, we haven't even kicked a ball in anger yet. So, but anyway, that's pre-season for you already.
Yeah, them three. If we start with the strongest three defenders, Ben, if we do a 3-5-2, Woody, Icky, and MacDonald, that's going to be the best one of the best three defenders in the entire division, because they were pretty, for the most part in Championship, they were outstanding. Defensive record were really good, wasn't it? So that should stand us in good stead for the rest of the season, assuming MacDonald gets back quickly or we replace him. Don't know. Yeah, I don't think they've announced it. If they have announced it, I haven't seen it yet. All we know is going to be a start season.
I really struggle with muscle injuries because I don't get how. Obviously, I'm sat here banged up, but it's a bone injury. I sometimes struggle with certain muscle injuries because there's lots of things you can do. But that's another point.
He's gone away with Jamaica, hasn't he? So he's not yet had a close season. So I think he's probably overworked it.
I've had that conversation exactly. It might have been one of you two. I can't remember. But that's whatever. And the one thing I would end that point on is Richard Wood still fit, so there's no excuse, and that's fact. That's fact.
Yeah, right.
I know he's not playing for his country and whatever, but
some bodies are more susceptible. I don't know why. Yeah. Some bodies are more susceptible. So to injuries. Curtis Tilt's been injured since he came. To be fair, also.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm really sure with that. But that is a very good back three. Problem is, there's no replacements. You have to play 90 minutes 46 times. Unless you find someone, because Sullivan Cooper is whatever his name is, going to play. But yeah, that's a very good back three. That back three will get us promoted if they stay fit.
Yeah. Although, bear in mind, we're not going to play on Saturday, Tuesday all the time. So next season for us, it's going to feel like we're not playing at all, I imagine. If you never played, I haven't gone Saturday, Tuesday to playing Saturday, Tuesday once every so often.
Yeah.
I can only imagine how different that's going to feel for the players. It must feel completely different, hopefully. Hopefully make them feel a bit lighter and a bit more fitter mentally. If
fingers crossed. Yeah.
First pre-season game on Saturday. 1,000 fans, 1,000 tickets sold for Parkgate, for the annual Parkgate game, which is back for the first time since COVID. You two have both been let downs and not going, which is disappointing for us all.
Sorry.
Mick's putting seeing his granddaughter first before watching Rotherham against Parkgate, which it's not far of a disgrace.
And let's be fair, she's only been born a week.
She's already causing problems.
Yeah, exactly.
It's 200 miles away. It's already stopping you going to football.
Yeah, well, yeah. I do as I'm told, mate. Do as I'm told.
Yeah. I've got tickets to take my daughter, but weather, it doesn't look amazing. I don't think I want to stand around. If it's raining, I'm not like a 6-year-old to stand around it where it rain. So hopefully the weather holds off.
You made a salt? You made sugar.
I don't feel like Ben's ever watched football in rain. You need to get a Maidenhead.
I played. No, I haven't. Yeah, I have. Because I'd say, in fact, I ball boyed on Sunday in thundering lightning. So
that's different.
With a broken wrist.
With a broken wrist, technically watched football. So with no jacket. So I think I know what it is. I'm joking. I don't want to go in pouring rain. It's going to be.
You're not going anyway. No. I'm hoping the weather holds off, because I just want to be back watching Rotherham United in the crowd again. I'm really, really looking forward to it. So hopefully the weather holds off and they get the full 1,000 in there. More importantly, and this is really important and it's really exciting, the restrictions will be lifted. COVID restrictions on the 19th of July will be removed as things stand. And what does that mean, Mick?
Full stadium against
Full
Argyle on the 7th of August.
Can't wait.
Oh,
a month today of the episode being released, we're going to be back in.
Which is massive. I mean, honestly, it's massive. And I'm surprised, actually, how giddy and excited I am for a man of my age. But, walking back down that New York way or whatever it's called, back to that stadium, it's going to be a big thing. It's going to be quite emotional, actually, I think, because it's been a big miss, a massive miss. We've missed that horrible season, that horrible championship season where we could have impacted what were happening up to a point. We could have contributed to it, I guess. And we've been locked out of our stadium, so and rightly so. I ain't got a problem with it. I understand all the politics behind it, but getting back in there, it's just it's going to be an amazing day. That
Ben,
amazing
atmosphere. Where are your excitement levels? 105, 5. Don't tell me you're going to miss that game.
I'm not. I've got training that day, which hopefully I'll be able to do if this stupid thing's able to come off. But I'm still going to be there, obviously. I'm not going to celebrate as much as I want. But, yeah, I'm so looking forward to it. I'm going to miss a few games at the start of this season, but I'm so glad I'm there for the first one.
First one's back. It's going to be amazing, particularly the first one. Obviously, I think all the home friendlies will be post restrictions as well, so there might be some decent crowds for them as well.
It's the Newcastle game, isn't there? Which is going to be, you would think that'll be a full house as well.
Probably, yeah. Friday night as well. New York under the lights.
Yeah, absolutely. And Newcastle will sell whatever allocation they're given. We know that. So it should be a hell of an atmosphere even for that, just for a pre-season friendly. So,
well, can't wait.
I'm so giddy. I'm so giddy. I cannot wait. I need it. We need it now.
Yeah.
I'm working on a bit and I'm wishing my life away.
Yeah. I was talking about this wife of the day. Which would you prefer? Your two options. You could have gone last season, every other game with 2,000 capacity. Or would you prefer to wait until it's back to full capacity so it's a proper game? Does that make sense? Which one would you prefer, Ben?
Wait, 100%. Wait. Without 100.
No, they've probably gone last season because we could have had some sort of influence over the team and boosted them a little bit, maybe, perhaps. I don't know. It's no point now, really, isn't it? Because we've had to wait.
It's just an interesting talking point. And as soon as what this is, Mick, it's a podcast.
Oh,
we talk to each other about different things and opinions and whatnot. Yeah,
sorry.
I know it's been a little while.
I slipped into being boring again. Seamlessly.
Yeah. With hindsight, I think I'm now preferring to wait. Yeah. But if you just said to me in January, do you want to go to this game with 2,000 fans, I'll snap your hand off.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, season tickets are bought for us. All our season tickets are on the auto renewal. And I've seen a lot of people saying their tickets have already been bought. Really looking forward to it. Accrington game's been confirmed for the Tuesday night. First, I think it's the Tuesday night after the Plymouth game, or is it the week after? We should check this.
Yeah, should check that.
But it's another game I really enjoy, Ben. You probably won't go to that because it's a midweek game, but the League Cup game, it just marks the start of the season. And the League Cup gets a lot of stick from a lot of people, and I understand why some people don't like it. But it just marks the start of the season. It just marks a point where you go, football's back now because we've got a cup game as well as the league game.
I mean, I suppose.
Here we go.
What? Is the League
Cup?
Have
I come to the wrong person?
The League Cup's like the under-21s for Man City, isn't it?
No, that's the Pizza Trophy.
That's the whatever it's called trophy.
Is it called League? Is it called League Cup again?
Carabao Cup.
Oh, Carabao Cup. Oh, well, I mean, yeah. I didn't even know at the start of the season. Wow, have I ever been to a football game? I didn't know at the start of the season. Maybe that's just me being an idiot.
Yeah,
It might be. Yeah.
But yeah, that's gonna be a bit of atmosphere as well.
That is on the 10th. So we've got Plymouth on the 7th, and then them on the Tuesday.
So it's at home.
Yes. It won't be a sellout, but it'll still be a reasonable crowd.
I think it will.
You think?
100%. People want to go to every game they can.
I hope so.
Yeah,
there'll be a lot of some people will have a Some people right now are having a bit of hesitancy. So you see a lot of people on Twitter, not necessarily Rotherham United fans, but football people in general have a hesitancy about the restrictions. But from a footballing point of view, the closer it gets to the game and the more the excitement builds, the people that are running an hour and going will probably end up going because the excitement just builds up a little bit more. So I think we'll certainly see capacity crowds for us, and I imagine most of the clubs will get big crowds.
I can't see the hesitancy in people going to ground. The vast majority of people will be double jabbed by then. The vast majority. Yeah. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Each to their own and all that. But it's football. It's live. It's at New York Stadium. It could be some other highly contagious disease. I'll take my chances. You know what I mean? I've been away for too long.
Yeah.
I've been away for too long.
Yeah, we were fortunate enough to be there for the last game before COVID struck, and I need a new memory of a live football game to wipe away that horrendous day in Rochdale.
Yeah, definitely.
Anything else Rotherham United related you want to talk about, mention before? I think I've covered most of what we were going to talk about. Is there anything else I've missed? Do you want to talk about the new away kit? We talked about the home kit, the away kit, the grey slate / colour. I think we're all unanimous that we're not big fans of it.
It looks like Warrington's old keeper kit.
Yeah. It might be one of them where the picture doesn't do it justice. It looks really dull and really plain. And away kits aren't meant to be dull and plain. They were meant to be a bit like last season's white one with stripes. We were quite interested with a different kit. Obviously, the black one was really nice. Not really a fan, mate.
No, me neither. I'm not a fan of either, to be honest. But yeah, that again, I find in myself like that at the beginning of every season. I weren't a fan of this one because of these these crisscrosses on it, and I'm now sat here wearing it. So I'll be sat here wearing it at some stage, I'm sure. But yeah, I'm not seeing it in flesh yet. Once I see it in flesh, I might think differently. But I'm not a fan of grey anyway. I didn't like the last grey kit wear particularly.
I think it's stupid to change kits every year. It doesn't make sense because it limits the designs so much because it's generic, like designing the kit on FIFA or Football Manager. It's just some generic crap.
Yeah, but the finance part of that overrules and overrides any issues in terms of design because it means everybody's got to buy a new shirt. Every football club does it. It's just It's not just every football club does it, it's a regulation.
Right. Is it?
If you remember back to 2012, we had the kit with the council badge on.
Yeah.
We kept that for 2 seasons and the club had to apply to the EFL for permission to keep the same home shirt 2 years in a row. Obviously the EFL aren't going to say no, or the chances aren't in it, so it's basically a regulation that there has to be a change of kit every year. Which is a shame. I agree with Ben. I'm not interested in the cost type thing, because we all end up buying it if we can afford it. But from a design point of view, it would be better if it was every 2 years. I used to really like, Ben won't remember this, but it used to be every 2 years. Before that, but every 2 years you got to change a shirt. And it used to be really cool watching Match at Day, first day at season, to see who had a new shirt and who didn't have a new shirt. That was part of the fun of the first game of the season. Whereas now, everybody's got a different kit, but it's all basically the same. All designs are very similar. It's taken the fun away a little bit.
Extremely similar. It's just the same. It's the same design from Puma 4 years ago, from Wednesday kit or whatever it was. You know what I mean? They just
that weren't Puma, that were it? I can't remember what it were.
They just
I know what you mean though.
Made it red. So
yeah. Well, the away kit's the same design, but without the stripes.
Yeah.
The top shoulder bits are the same.
You give me that template, I could have designed home and away kit. Got some money. Got nothing else to do.
They tried to do something different, and I see what they tried to do. We were successful at grey kit last time, and a lot of people did like that grey kit.
They did, yeah.
I wasn't a fan of the grey kit. I think it's just a bit dull, a bit boring. What I would like to see with the third kit is to go out there a little bit.
Yeah.
If we're going to do this with this, well, let's go out there. Let's go back to yellow or something like that. Let's see something interesting for the third kit. I'm sure we will.
Blue and yellow, pink and yellow, extravagant, blue, green and blue.
Electric orange and luminous pink.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. Hopefully that comes through. I think that's all the Rotherham United chat. Brief 10 minutes on the Euros, because obviously football's coming home. This episode's going out on the morning of England against Denmark. So when you're all listening to this, you will know who one of the finalists are. So we're not going to talk about Spain, Italy, because you'll have already watched it. England, Ukraine. We're going to talk about that one. The best England performance at a major tournament in my lifetime.
Was it, or was it the worst performance by an opposing team?
God, here we go. Jesus Christ.
Listen, it was a good performance. I think the only reason we played well was because of Sancho. I understand why he hasn't played him, because of transfer and all that. No one can tell me different, because everyone knows exactly what's going to happen, because he is one of the best players in the squad. It was a good performance, man. Sterling played well, Kane played well, surprisingly. Sancho played well.
Surprisingly.
Oh, come on, big crap all tournament. Let's be honest with you.
Well, if he turns it on now.
Yeah, I'm going to say, if he turns it on now and wins the thing, I could not care less. But, yes, we've got a good team, man. We've got a very good team, very good young team. I'm excited, man. I'm very excited for tomorrow. Today. Tomorrow. Same thing.
The day that football comes home, nearly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mick, you were coming on Northern Monkeys last week, and we're a little bit Mr. Miserable.
Yeah, well, I had to go somewhere, didn't I?
Yeah.
So,
after Saturday, you can't really be negative about England. It in terms of how the game went, it was perfect.
Yeah, we just blown away, didn't we? We blew away. Certainly that second half, and remarkably, and what sort of really, really surprised me more than anything else is that we did it without Jack Grealish, the world's wonder kid, and we did it without him. You know what I mean?
I know you say he saved him. He didn't put him on because he wanted to save him.
Well, it'll be fine if we end up playing Italy in final. If we get through and play Italy in final, there'll only be what we're going to have. There's 22 players on pitch. There'll only be probably 12 of them still on the feet.
If we play Italy and Grealish starts, we're going to have about 5 minutes open play.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I know we're jumping massively ahead to the final. But if you play Italy in the final, you want somebody to battle those tactics. You can't fight those tactics.
Battle is a too masculine word to put there.
You've got to have something to match up to them tactics.
Yeah.
Because you can't beat those tactics. Those tactics of I don't even know what the right word is of going down at every bit of contact. If you get a referee that plays into that, we've been in the Championship last year. If you get a referee that plays into those tactics, you cannot beat them at doing a different type of game. You've got to do something similar. And not only is Grealish a fantastic footballer, he is very, very clever at that side of the game. Whether you like it or not.
It's not clever. It's not hard. I could do it. It's not hard. If it
was easy, everybody else would do it.
No, because Grealish is a good player. No one else does it because it's cheating.
Oh, man.
It's bang on right, Matt. It's bang on right.
Okay.
And I agree with what you're saying. There's very few teams play the way Italy play it as well in inverted commas as Italy do it. And you couldn't think of the word. The word's cheating. It's cheating. The cheats. They are. No, you laugh at me. You laugh at me. I watched that game the other night, and it's just embarrassing beyond words. It's embarrassing. That first goal of Italy's was just the most ridiculous, sickening, pathetic behaviour I've ever witnessed on a football field. And I've seen. Oh, yeah, because it makes me feel sick. It's pathetic. No, mate, honestly.
To be injured. Let's say it.
Why? For what reason? To con referee to cheat. Yeah. It's cheating. It's cheating, and it absolutely boils my blood. It really does. Can you tell?
This is coming to a change of conversation. This is a whole other argument about why football is pathetic.
Yeah,
but back to your point. I don't even know. I can't even what I could say. I'd like to bring it back to what we were meant to talk about.
Grealish.
Grealish. I mean, right, Grealish. The reason that we played so well when Grealish was on was because that was meant. Do you know what I mean? We needed that creativity. And the reason Grealish had to play is because he couldn't play Sancho. So I think he's going to play Sancho instead of Grealish because Sancho did it better. That's why Grealish played so well, because we needed that creativity that Sancho has been giving you, but understandably, he can't play Sancho. Which I have no problem against that, excuse me. But I think Grealish is number 2 in that creativity role for me.
Grealish carries the ball as well as anybody on that team. And what he does is he draws in the players. And for England, he hasn't really done this yet. What he does for Villa, he obviously draws players in and he draws the foul. For England, what he's done is drawn the players in, not won the foul, and moved the ball forward. Because I don't know if he's trying to buy better players who are better at finding space or what it is. But he hasn't done that thing where he draws in the foul. He's drawing the man, but he hasn't drawn the foul. We've then been able to build from that without having to be a foul. Sancho does a similar sort of thing as well to that, quicker
and legal.
What I'm saying for England is Grealish hasn't reverted to the Villa type Grealish. Right. He hasn't done it.
Because nobody will go near him. It's because nobody will go near him because they know what he's going to do.
But he is still drawing him in. That's how he carries the ball forward by drawing. He did it once against Scotland where he threw himself to the ground. But other than that, he's done the good side of it really, really well without throwing himself around in as much as he has done for Villa.
He's done it all right. He's done it all right, but well. He hasn't done it any better than Saka, than Sancho, than Mount. He's not any better than any of them by any stretch of imagination. Saka, I think, is a better player. I genuinely do. He's a more exciting player. He's a more direct player.
I agree with you, Matt, about Grealish has done it well, but I really, really struggle to watch it. And I really struggle to watch it.
Because you don't like him?
No, because I don't like him. I don't like his play style. It really offends me on how I approach and see sports, because it baffles me, and I can't stand it. It's physically hard to watch, and that's why I want Sancho to play, because he's unreal, man.
You can't tell me that Sancho's not going to throw himself around. He's a typical winger. Of course he's going to throw himself around.
He didn't
because he didn't in one game.
I ain't seen him play, but from that one game, he should start. I mean,
it was excellent.
It was quality. It was excellent, but I haven't seen him play. If that is his game, the same.
They all do it, mate. They all do it.
The same applies then, doesn't it?
Real shame. During America, right? When obviously they call it soccer, they play right, and they ask each other, "Do you flop in soccer?" That's what they call it. Do you flop in soccer? That is a known thing. How embarrassing is that for the sport? Do you flop?
This would be more serious to take if I hadn't seen one of the worst own goals I've ever seen in MLS over the weekend. I can't take any American soccer seriously. the ball came over the top, and the defenders got a striker. The striker's running through on goal, and the defender's turned his back. The ball has hit the defender on the back of the head, which has took it past the goalkeeper to go towards the line, and the goalkeeper and defender both ran together, and they've both slid to try and get the ball away from that, and took each other out, and it's just got in. It's brilliant. So
quality is crap, but the principle remains the same.
Going back to England now, we obviously play Denmark in this semi-final, and I think it's going to be a tougher game, as tough a game as we've had all tournament against Denmark. Right at the beginning of this tournament, I thought there were dark horses to go a long way, and then obviously they lost the first 2 games, and I thought I'd obviously done my usual sort of got that wrong again. Then they are a quality outfit, Denmark. Make no mistake. They ain't no Ukraine or Croatia or Scotland or or Czech Republic for that matter. They are a quality outfit. So tomorrow night or tonight, as when this goes out, it's going to be a really, really tough game. And I don't, please don't get yourselves sort of set on a Saturday or Sunday, whenever it is, final appearance for England, because that's definitely not a given. Definitely not.
No, I think Germany are a better team, man for man. But I think Denmark are a better team together. They've got, as has been mentioned, this is not a revelation. They're riding an emotional wave from the first game of the tournament, and they've ridden it very, very well, very, very, very well. And we saw against Belgium in the first half against Belgium. They blew Belgium. I know Belgium have been shown to maybe not be the team that everybody thought they were, but they still were very, very, very good. I worry for them from a neutral point of view. I worry that they've had a too tough of a run, and they don't have a big enough squad like we do to rotate. Their best players have had to play most of their games, and they're missing their best player.
The thing is, there's a saying, isn't there, that the man with nothing to lose is a very dangerous man. They've got nothing to lose. They go out now and get beat. They are heroes in their country. They've got nothing to lose. England go and get beat. Lord, is there going to be some crisis? So they have nothing to lose. You cannot tell me if we get beat that Southgate and everyone on that staff is going to get hammered for losing to Denmark. I can guarantee it, right? I can guarantee it. They're going to bring up the Southgate penalty. They're going to bring the Southgate penalty. They're going to hammer it.
Do that when he wins.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, they have got nothing to lose. I am quite worried.
Okay. I don't think the way pelters of England. England has done well to get this stage and played very, very well. If we lose narrowly to Denmark, I'll be gutted, absolutely gutted. But I'm proud of the way that the team have performed on the pitch, and I'm so proud of the way that Southgate has conducted himself and his staff and his team off the pitch. And in my life, that's never ever happened for England. I've never been proud of an England team for more than 45 minutes. I think that's really important. We've obviously privately talked about Southgate being very similar to Paul Warne and the way he conducts himself, the way he wants people to behave, the way it's not just about football, it's about being a decent person as well. And the players have been great. The players have shone in that role that Southgate's asked them to play on and off the pitch. So from that point of view, I think they're safe. If we'd have gone out to Germany the last 16, things might have been different. We're in semi-finals of a major tournament for the third time in a row. From where we were in 2016, we've talked about with Kerry Arneson, England were a shambles in 2016, a complete shambles. And then Big Sam came in for one game, which were an even bigger shambles.
Yeah, I mean, if I don't have a lot of time for newspapers, as you're aware, but if they'd not set him up like they set him up, where we would be now, we certainly wouldn't be where we are. So I suppose on that basis, they did us a favour, but why the FA employed him in the first place is just some sort of weird alternate universe type occurrence, isn't it?
Yeah.
But anyway,
still more pressure on England, but at the same time, we've got 65,000 fans. Well, 65,000 capacity, 60,000 out is the room I've heard. Denmark fans, so most of the crowds from England heavy, which we saw at the Germany game. Atmosphere were amazing. We weren't even at the game, so hopefully that'll push England over the line.
Fingers crossed.
Hopefully it comes home. So, anything else you want to add?
Nah.
Superb. So, thank you all for listening. If you listening on iTunes, please subscribe and give us a 5-star rating if you haven't already. And follow us on Spotify if you're listening on there. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe and give us a thumbs up on the video. We would very much appreciate that. When the new season comes up, we've got a few different bits and bobs we're going to start doing during the week and things such as that. So keep an eye out for those. I think we've got some good ideas, I think. Well, I hope are good ideas. We'll be back next week. Depending on how the Euros goes, depends on when we will be back next week. Obviously, if England win, I might need a week to recover. So, but we're going to come back next week. Danny Glaves, who's done a lot of work for our website, is going to come on next week's episode. So if anyone wants to hear from him, we're going to talk about the Parkgate game next week and whatnot. So if you are interested in that, come back next week. And yeah, thank you, Ben. It's been lovely.
You're welcome.
I hope your arm gets better. Wrist, sorry.
Wrist, yeah.
Sorry, yeah. And Nick, you're not injured, are you? So
not yet.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go watch Italy-Spain game. So by the end of that, I'll have ripped the rest of my hair out and probably smashed a few pots as well, screaming at Italians rolling up floor. And not only that, Biscuits will be playing for Spain as well, won't he? So it's just going to be a complete dive fest.
Yeah, so Mick, after tonight, Mick will need somebody's house to live at.
It's going to be the slowest.
He will be kicked out.
The slowest game of football.
Right. So let's stop talking about the game so we can go watch it.
I'm not watching it. I
want to watch it.
I've got a wall I want to stare at, actually.
Anyway, thank you, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've not been too put off by these two miserable gits.
I'm not being...
Cheers, guys.
Pringle looking towards Agard. Ravel, ambitious.